Hi everyone, welcome back to the course. So in the last lab, we took a look at a fictitious profile of our user Philip Nomad. Now that was inside the cybrary lab environment. What I've done here is I've created a fake Facebook profile, so I just want to add some things in on this particular profile that I've seen a lot of people actually leave open for anyone to view. And we'll talk a little bit about how an attacker could use that information against you. So this is going to be a pretty short lab. We're again just going to be accessing the Facebook profile, reviewing it, and then moving forward from there. So you can go to Facebook and try to search for Tia Smith. That's our fictitious user in this scenario. But the easier option is actually just clicking this link here or copying and pasting that into your browser, and that'll take you directly to Tia's Facebook page. That way you don't have to worry about trying to figure out where's Tia at and searching like that through Facebook. All right, so once you've clicked that, you'll notice that I'm actually logged in as Tia right now, so I've got access to a little more information than you'll likely see on your end, but I grabbed these questions here based off what information. So first thing we're going to do here is just review her timeline post. So let's go ahead and do that now. So we see a post there, I love cybrary. We see another one that maybe a photo or something didn't come through on. And that's related to Bitcoin. And then we see that Tia's got a pretty recent profile here, and I kept that way on purpose. But we noticed that Tia just put up kind of a photo of her, and that's, again, just kind of a silhouette there. We also noticed about Bitcoin there, so maybe we can figure out what kind of exchange she's on, or we can communicate with her and say, hey, I'm into Bitcoin. Are you into Bitcoin? And of course, she'll say, oh, yeah, I invested in it. And then you can figure out what cryptocurrency, she's using Bitcoin, but you can figure out how much she's invested and that sort of stuff. And of course, we see she loves cybrary, so that might tell us maybe she works there, or maybe she just likes the website. All right, let's go back to our lab document here. So now we're going to click on the About section. So step number 4 here, and that's actually our last step of this lab. We're just going to answer these additional questions here. So let's click on the About section right here. All right, so we see that it looks like she lives in Salt Lake City, Utah. Okay. If we keep clicking around here, we'll see that we've got some work and education information. So looks like she works at cybrary as a hacker, and she looks like she went to BYU, or Brigham Young University, if you're not familiar, here in the United States. And we also see a high school there as well. So let's try to answer a few of these questions here. So what company does she work for? Well, we just had seen that cybrary, at least according to her profile. What school did she attend? Well, we noticed that for college, at least, she went to BYU. And then it looks like for high school, she went to Madura South High School, South High. All right, well, next question is, do we see her birthday? Well, let's take a look around to see if we see a birthday anywhere at all. So let's click on places you've lived. Well, we were already there. We noticed that was Salt Lake City. Contact and basic info, let's see here. Oh, looks like we have a birthday right there, right? See, April 5th, 1978. All right, so that answers that question there. Let's see how long she's been married for. So let's go to family and relationships. Looks like she's single there. So, that was a trick question, right? She's single, so she hasn't been married for any period of time. All right, and then finally, question number 6 here. What is she like? Well, let's take a look at details about you. Maybe she's got some more information right there. Well, we see that she's just a profile used for testing. But she likes long walks on the beach and anything outdoors. Okay, great. Now, of course, this was fictitious, right? But you can get a general idea of some of the information people leave out there for you. You can also, in many cases, see phone numbers. So if you go back to contact and basic info, I didn't put a phone number in here because, as you probably already know, Facebook verifies your phone number. So I didn't want to put like a real phone number in there. But we see for our example that many people will actually put their mobile phone number in there for you, and you can just grab that information. I found that LinkedIn is even a little worse. People will leave a phone number, a phone number, email address. They'll leave website URL. They'll leave like personal website information. Some people I've even seen link like their Facebook or other social media to LinkedIn. So just be mindful as you're setting up your own profiles or talking to your own family members and stuff like that. Just always tell them, like, don't share all that information because anybody can see it. Now, I mentioned at the start of this lab, we want to talk about, like, what can we actually do with this information? Obviously, if we can get the email address here, which I'm not going to show you because that's hidden from the timeline, But if we can get that information or her date of birth, or even the information about Bitcoin or cybrary, that's all information that we can use to target Tia. Now, let's say we're going after cybrary for an example. I don't recommend that because we have a lot of people that know how to hack, and so that's not a good thing for you to do. We also have a lot of forensic investigators that give back to the site, so again, not a good thing for you to do. But let's say cybrary was our target company, and we noticed that Tia works there. So now we can look at Tia's profile. We can get some information about her address. We can see her date of birth, that sort of stuff. We see also, as I mentioned before, about Bitcoin. So we can either here on Facebook, or we can go try to find her on like LinkedIn, because many people will have a profile on both. So we can go track her down on LinkedIn, and that's probably an easier platform to initiate communication on and say, hey, are you into Bitcoin at all? She might even have it listed there as a skill or something like that. And we can say, hey, do you like Bitcoin? If you do, great, let's talk about it. I'm into Bitcoin. Oh, I see you're in Salt Lake City, Utah. Oh, so am I. Let's meet for coffee. And then you could actually go meet Tia and find out more information about her, as well as try to find out more information about the company. So a lot of different things we could do with all this information people love to share on social media. Some things I didn't add in here. I didn't add photos. Of course, I didn't friend anybody because I wanted to keep this a fake profile and I didn't want to try to trick anybody else. But many people are going to allow you to access their friends list as well as photos. So you can find a good deal of information off people's friends list. You can click on their friends and you can usually see a lot of good information about the target themselves from their friends. A lot of friends will post a lot of information. So for people that might be a little more security conscious and leaving off like their date of birth or email address, that sort of stuff, we can, if they've got it open where we can look at their friends list on social media, then from there we can potentially get more information about our target. So this was just a quick example. Again, just looking at a social media profile. I just want to show you more of a real life example aside from our fake one inside of the cybrary lab environment there. In the next lab, we're going to go ahead and use a tool called the Social Engineering Toolkit, or SET as it's more commonly called. And we're going to use that to craft a phishing email and then send it to our target, which in this case will actually be us. And we'll go ahead and click on the email with our malicious file, open it up, and then we'll take a look at what the file has done to us at that point. So I look forward to seeing you in the next video.